Hey, Arman here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the basic nutrition of low versus high carb. Because there's a lot of controversy out there, a lot of proponents for both sides, and I've done all of them, and so I'm going to give you my analysis on how I feel about low versus high carb. So to start with, on high carb, basically what qualifies for high carbohydrate diet is 50% or more of the calories will come from carbohydrates. And the proponents of the carbohydrate, using that as your main source of energy is because it's the preferred source of energy for the body. Well, yes and no on that. I mean, the body will use it if it's available because you have two energy systems. You can use the carbohydrate or quick energy systems of carbs and sugars, or you can use the other energy system of fats, which the difference is carbs and sugars last 1 to 2 hours, maybe a little bit more. Fats last 4 to 6 hours if you're running off of fats. But you can't combine these. They don't burn at the same time. You're either working on one system or the other. And a lot of people don't understand that at all. And it's not really mentioned well in the different media and the things that you learn about, even from nutritionists a lot of times, or dietitians. So what the average American is doing right now is they're averaging about 300 grams of carbs a day. And that's a lot of carbohydrates. And so what you need to understand about the carbohydrate system is when you ingest carbohydrates, you have to have insulin come up to help take the carbohydrates and convert them to glucose and push it into the muscle cells or the liver cells. So what the problem is when your muscle cells and liver, your muscle and liver are full of glycogen, the cells are already full of it. If you keep eating more and more carbohydrates, the body has no place to put it, and you're not going to excrete so much of that with fiber and other things. So what ends up happening is that's when you start storing more and more body fat. And if you watch people eat a lot of processed food, high carb diets, they're very heavy because that's all they do. They're storing food all the time because they're not burning up the carbohydrates they're eating, so they're always storing them. And that's another thing is when you're exercising and stuff, that's what you're burning is glucose. So you're not burning fat. So you don't burn fat until later. The only thing you'll be burning as far as fat would be triglycerides when you're exercising. So then a lot of people don't understand how these energy systems actually work. So when you go to a low carb diet, you're going to have 0 to 30% of your calories that come from fat, and so there's a different system there too. But one of the things you kind of keep in mind and at all is that when insulin's elevated, you don't burn fat. So you can't burn fat until insulin's down, because then you're not working off the quick energy of the sugars and carbs. Now we're working off the slower burning energy of fats, which is 4 to 6 hours, which again, when insulin's down, that's a good thing. So you're burning fat as your main source of energy versus the other. And that's how you're going to lose more body fat. And you're going to do that through nutrition more so than anything else. Now, obviously, as you increase your muscle tissue and from exercise with weight training, things like that, that'll help speed up the metabolism, burn more. But what we understand here is the difference between the low and high carb strategies when it comes to eating. And so what I propose is what's called a carb cycling strategy, where I'm low carb a lot, so I'm burning fat, but then to reload the muscles and the liver for exercise and other things, just to replenish them, then I'll have some carbohydrates to do that. But again, they're going to be all natural carbohydrates and as efficient as possible, so I don't have extra carbohydrates, which are going to cause more, to be pushed over into the fat cells. So that's what the distinction we want to make here is low versus high carb. And then what's the most effective way to get rid of body fat? And this is what I found works well. And there's a lot of ways to work, but I found this is a good long-term sustainable strategy that is performed well for me and my clients. So I do carb cycling where I'm going low carb, and I have a lot of details on all this, but today I'm just making a distinction. So you go low carb and then you reload periodically. So the other thing to keep in mind with all this is we got to watch out for what's really causing a lot of problems out there in society is what's called insulin resistance. And this is what causes diabetes. It leads to that. So what you see happening is you got all these people that are eating 3 to 5 meals a day, 3 main meals and then snacks. And that they have carbohydrates in all these meals, it's going to cause insulin to have to come up. So they're not going to burn any fat. And they tend to be more hungry all the time because your energy starts to tap out after a couple, 1 to 2 hours, and you want to eat again to keep your energy level up. So you got insulin working all day long, 3 to 5 times all day long. That's not good. The only time it's going to drop is when you go to sleep, and that's when you have an opportunity to actually burn some fat. Also because when you're sleeping, that's when the body reproduces cells, and it needs cholesterol to do that as part of the process. So the distinction here is low carb, high carb, and understanding one energy system or the other. And so what we want to do is find the energy system that's going to work the best by utilizing these things in a very strategic manner. So that's the distinction I want to make with the low carb versus high carb. Other than that, I hope you found this video interesting. Of course, if you have questions on this, pop that in the group and we can talk about it a little bit more further. All right, thanks.